Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakodash. Love honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone for teaching us all this truth through well. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwath out there listening and learning, increasing in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. I just wanted to go into real quick into the Sabbath. I've been meaning to make this lesson for a minute. Okay, and I just wanted to quickly go into it. Basically how to determine when the Sabbath is. So, briefly speaking, just real quick, what the Sabbath is every new moon. All right, every new moon is a Sabbath, and that new moon really represents the bringing of the Sabbath, is what I should say. So the new moon, we treat it as a Sabbath. It's not an actual Sabbath, Sabbath day. But in another sense, it is. And that's what kind of throws people off and confuses them. And you have people like IUIC and all these other Israelite camps, and they say that that's not true. But the scriptures speak for themselves. All right, so the new moon is likened unto a Sabbath. All right, so everything you do on a Sabbath, you do on a new moon. Okay, this is the bringing in of the first week. All right, 7 days after that is a Sabbath, which falls on the same day that the new moon fell in, right? Which is a Sabbath. And then 7 days after that, you have another Sabbath, all right? And then 7 days after that, you have another Sabbath, which is the third week of the new month, all right? When you go into that word month, it goes back to the word moon, okay? And why? Because it should be determined by the moon, all right? The new month has 4 weeks, okay? Every new month has 4 weeks. So the Sabbaths are what bring in, the new months. You see? So when Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai said that the stars, okay, and the moon and the sun would be for signs, okay, that's for us to determine when the Sabbaths are. And you have this devil, Esau Edom, through his witchcraft, he looked to change the times. You got what's called the Julian calendar, the Gregorian calendar, all right, which changes the times, and it's no longer based off of a new moon, all right, which is when it's pitch black outside or dark outside, you don't see the moon. That's when the new moon is, not when it's a full moon, because there's a difference. There's a full moon, which is full of light, and there's a new moon, okay, which is not present because it's dark, and then you have the phases that it goes through. But when you see the full moon, that's when it's the 14th day, okay, the second week. That means half of the month is gone, because the light passes from no light to a crescent, to a half, to a full, and then to another half, to a crescent, and then to an empty, or to a dark moon. So I hope I'm making sense with brief description of what the scriptures are talking about. Because when you talk about it in scriptures, a lot of scriptures will go over people's heads, automatically, and misinterpret it. So speaking about it in the terms of simpler terms, which is just talking about it, the new moon is likened unto a Sabbath. All right, because that's what brings forth the Sabbaths. All right, and then you have the ending of the previous month, which is then that new moon. And what mixes people up is you have, a Sabbath that ends on the new moon. You have a Sabbath. So like you have a Sabbath that ends a day before the new moon, and by a day I'm talking about an evening and a day. All right, before the new moon. Okay, so for instance, say Monday is the new moon, which would be Monday evening to Tuesday evening. That would be the new moon. Okay, and this is just me making an example. All right, so it'd be Monday evening to Tuesday evening is how it's kept, right? It's not Tuesday 12 a.m. until Tuesday 12 a.m. 12 to 12. At the end of Tuesday, which would be Wednesday 12 a.m. That's not how it's kept. The way it's kept is by evening. All right, to evening. That's what determines the day. So say the new moon is Monday, which would be Monday evening to Tuesday evening. So you keep that, and then 7 days, 7 days, 7 days, 7 days, making 4 weeks, making a full a full month. Okay, which goes by the moon. So at the end of Tuesday evening ends the month, and then Wednesday is not a Sabbath. Okay, but Wednesday you gather necessary things for the new oncoming moon, which is most likely going to be on Wednesday evening. Okay, so you don't Sabbath, or you don't rest one day, and then you bring on the new moon, which is likened unto a Sabbath. You see, and all these things in the scriptures, really in the kingdom is what I meant to say. All these things in the kingdom are gonna make 144,000% truth, and make sense. It's gonna make sense in the kingdom, and right now this is how we do it. And everything's gonna be perfected in the kingdom. But right now, this is how we keep and rehearse the righteous acts, like Scripture says in the book of Judges. In the book of Judges, it says, what's her name? When she prophesies and says, the name keeps slipping my tongue, but she says, go down to sing songs, and in the land of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of Yahweh. And that's what we're doing right now. We're rehearsing the righteous acts of Yahweh, keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, okay, to the best of our ability. Using the Hebrew to call out to our power, Yahweh. Using the Hebrew to call out to our Savior, Yahweh Shai. Okay, and giving all praises, trying to keep the Sabbaths, the Passover, which just happened last Wednesday Eve to Thursday Eve was the Passover, okay, which was a Sabbath, the 14th day of the month, okay. So this Tuesday evening, Salak, I keep messing up. This Wednesday evening to Thursday evening is the end of the Passover, which 7 days of unleavened bread. It's the end of the Passover, which brings on the new moon. The Passovers. Salak, the Sabbath. Salak. I'm butchering everything up. But this is how we keep it. This is how we do it. And this is how we rehearse it. And the Most High isn't going to dock us points if, we miss one thing, but we're trying to do it. But according to scriptures, it starts with the new moon. So the Most High doesn't dock it, if you don't do it 100% correctly, but we strive for that, and we're not ignorant of things. Like you have people in IUIC saying that it begins in the full moon, and they butcher everything up. So let me start off at Ezekiel chapter 20 and verse 8. It says, "But they rebelled against me and would not hearken unto me. They did not every man cast away the abominations of their eyes, neither did they forsake the idols of Egypt. Then I said, I will pour out my fury upon them to accomplish my anger against them in the midst of the land of Egypt." And that's what happened back then, and also spiritually is what's happening now, with all these Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You don't know who you are, and part of your spirit is trying to find out who you are, and the other part is consumed in darkness. So a part of you wants to know where you come from and your ancestors, and you relate yourself to Africa, even though there's 59 or something like that, 59 or 50 something states or countries, I should say, in Africa. We have states here in the United States, all right, but over there you have a country in a continent, continent being Africa, and the countries being Nigeria, Ghana, South Africa. You have different countries over there, you see. So you associate yourself with Africa, but you don't even know, which part you really associate yourself with, because everything over there is different when you go from north to east to west to south. So you have a lot of people walking blindly, not knowing who they are. And when we come out and tell you how it is, people want to rebel, and they say, no, that's not right. Our camp is right. And we're humbly saying this through the Spirit, which is 100% truth. So it says, verse 9, Ezekiel 20 and 9, "But I would have brought for my name's sake, that it should not be polluted before the heathen, among whom they were, in whose sight I made myself known unto them, in bringing them forth out of the land of Egypt." So the first Egypt was a great thing that happened, still talked about unto this day. But it's going to be even greater. Okay, what's going to be even greater is when Yahweh Hashem Yahushai delivers us this second time. Because this second time is going to be 100% fact, undeniable. Okay, because the elect are going to keep it in their perfection. The elect are going to remember, in the perfection, and they'll enforce it in the world. Not like nowadays where we say, the Exodus actually happened, and people call it an opinion. Everything's going to be factual in the kingdom. There's not going to be any, I doubt Esau Edom is the devil. Okay, I doubt the so-called white man is the devil. It's going to be factual. Okay, but going back to Ezekiel 20 and let me jump down to verse 10. It says, "Wherefore I caused them to come forth out of the land of Egypt, and brought them into the wilderness, and I gave them my statutes, and showed them my judgments, which if a man do, he shall even live in them." You see, and that's what we're doing now. It says, moreover, also I gave them my Sabbaths. Okay? So this has to be something inspired and given by the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. You know? It says, to be a sign between me and them, that they might know that I am Yahweh, that sanctify them. Okay? So this is a symbol between us and the Most High, not between, the 2/3 or the naysayers, or the people that simply just have hatred against us. This is the book of Amos, chapter 8. Let me start off at verse 4. Hear this, O ye that swallow up the needy, that ye may sell corn and the salak. Swallow up the needy, even to make the poor of the land to fail. Okay, which nowadays that applies to Esau Edom and the way he does things, the way he runs things. Like I said, he was trying to change the times, and he changed the calendar from what the real month was to what he believes the month should be. So now that the Most High has shown that he's dealing with us, you have Esau Edom with his agents like Vocab Malone and so on and so forth. They try to say, well, that's not the right way to do it. That's not how you should do it. This is how you should do it, so on and so forth. It says, verse 5, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn? Now, why were people concerned about the new moon? Why were they concerned about the new moon? So they can sell corn, because during the Sabbath you can't buy and you can't sell. You're not supposed to. Of course, there's exceptions. Say that you had to drive to work, and that day you were dragged around this way and dragged around that way, and your tank was empty after being halfway full. So you had to stop and get gas. The Most High is not gonna send a missile on your head because you had to put gas in your car for a Sabbath. There's exceptions, but for you to go out, and enjoy yourself, and go out there to go shopping at the mall, and buy clothes and go enjoy yourself, that's something that we can't do. Sometimes we even have to buy food during the Sabbath, and if we have little ones, so it says again, Amos 8 and 5, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and the Sabbath, that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances by deceit. So the Sabbath and the new moon go hand in hand, but you're going to have people that are going to try and change that and tell you that the Sabbath is Saturday to Sunday, and so on and so forth. They're going to try and change things up to mix you up, but let me go here, Exodus chapter 20. Really, let me go from up here, 20 and 8. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Now, how are we going to remember the Sabbath day? Well, it's going to come through this wisdom, So this is Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7 and verse 24. For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passeth and goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. For she is the breath of the power of the Most High, and the pure influence flowing from the glory of the Almighty. Therefore can no undefiled thing fall into her. Okay, so because no undefiled thing can fall into this truth, whenever it enters into us, okay, it purifies our mind, and it lets us know exactly what's what, and that's how we're able to come and combat with this truth. It says, And being but one, for she is the brightness of the everlasting light, the unspotted mirror of the power of the Most High, and the image of his goodness. And being but one, she can do all things, and remaining in herself, she maketh all things new. You see? And in all ages entering into holy souls, she maketh them friends of the Most High and prophets. So whenever we come out and say we remember how to keep the Sabbath day, it's not because we're going purely based off of some type of shiny light coming down into our mind and enlightening us, and we know everything now. It's by the study of the scriptures that this was brought out through the elders, the apostles, through the elders, the elder brothers, all right, the brothers, the younger brothers, that bring by this edification. Okay, so it says, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of Yahweh thy power. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy master, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. Now, when you look up new moon, all right, it tells you about David said unto Jonathan, behold, tomorrow is the new moon, and I should not fail to sit with the king and meat, but let me go that I may hide myself in the field unto the third day at even, all right, which is at evening. Why? Because he had to keep the new moon. So there's another one. It says 2 Kings 4:23, and he said, wherefore wilt thou go to him today? It is neither new moon nor Sabbath. And she said, it shall be well. Because the new moon is likened unto a Sabbath. You see? So a Sabbath is from evening to evening. And then 7 days, which is evening to evening, to 7 days after, which is evening to evening, which should fall on the same day. So that was just trying to do a quick hit, with that. I hope this was edifying. So I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Shalom.